Okay. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for attending the UNNC Outreach Committee meeting. Today's Tuesday, December 13th. And what time is it right now? 6:36. So let's call the meeting to order. So item number 1, determination to continue to hold meetings virtually. I ask you that you please refer to the text on item 1. And let's look at the agenda. So I would like myself to table item number 8, which is the approval of minutes. And also, and I'm sorry, but for unforeseen circumstances, I will also need to table item 6. So 6 and 8 tabled until our next meeting, hopefully in January. All right, so we have call to order, review of the agenda, welcome from attendees, general public comments, a discussion and possible action on the UNNC elections, any follow-ups to previous agenda items and all business, and adjournment. So I need someone to please move.
We don't need to do a motion.
Okay.
So I'm going to stop the share.
Yes, thank you. So it's only the two of us right now?
Yes, but we should introduce ourselves, I suppose.
Yes, so my name is Lizzie Moromisato. I'm the chair of the Outreach Committee and the UNNC elections for this year.
And I am Laura Myers. Lucky for me, I'm not the chair of either outreach or election. I'm just a steadfast helper.
Yes. Well, you are a member of the committee. That's for sure.
Yeah, I'm the alternative apparently as well.
Okay.
UNNC's election reform.
All right. So thank you for being here. All right. So we have, let's see, any public comments? I don't have any today. Yeah. All right. Let's get on to our main business, which is the elections. So elections will be held on Saturday, April 22nd. We're still holding on to that schedule. As far as the timeline, I believe the first item of business regarding the elections is the candidate filing window opens on December the 23rd. So we're hoping to set up some social media posts, right? With we were hoping to have some type of design from the communications committee. We're yet to receive any, but hopefully in the coming days we will have something. Now, my question was
here. I did mock something.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
I don't know if you can see it.
Yes, yes, that looks really nice. So we're using that tagline of lifting every voice.
And are we? I mean, I like it, but are we?
I like it too. In fact, I asked the communications committee if we could, that I was thinking that would be a proper tagline for us to use during the campaign. I hope that they agree. As far as, so my question was, because we did agree that we wanted to have some type of photo collage instead of other type of graphic images. My concern is this would be just perfect for social media posts, but when printing postcards or posters. How does this, you have some experience, right?
Yeah.
How
Well,
it is and photographs for
Yes.
real estate. So,
this would be fine for what I have here, but better, right? I mean, these photos are, two of them belong to Joshua. One of them, maybe two, are photos that Eileen Inman took. Steve walks this way. One of them must belong to us. The one in the center that's tiny, that is this photo of you, me, Greg, and sure who that is. Maybe it's Taylor. So UNNC obviously owns those. But the click is click. So the two children, the girls on the three girls jumping in the air is Bishop Conity. We'd have to get permission. And the one in the one of the kind of small one where people are at a vendor belong to that, is part of the group that came to us. They were doing the giveaways during COVID and sort of little markets on Pico and Norton. I'm forgetting their names, but I know who they are. That's where the photo came from. So I don't know that we want to use these photos in particular, but some of them are great. Oh, and the one where the gal is holding up the sign Fierce is from the organization that's at 10th and Adams. So something like that.
oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, it's a great photo, but would have to ask, can we use it?
Yes, and all right.
Yeah, so I don't know. There's a lot of children in this. I mean, this is a mock-up. This is just sort of my idea. It's not perfect by any means, but it's got white lines where there shouldn't be any, but this is just sort of my idea.
Yes, but
I'm more concerned, I'm kind of bothered, to be honest. I like the lifting every voice, but I'm bothered by the logo, UNNC, not the logo, on lifting every voice, they use the typeface that is not the package. So it's glaringly different. So, I don't think we can just go wholesale with this when you have now looking at 3 different fonts across the bottom.
Okay, but why don't we send this to the communications committee? I think it's a great start for them to work with, so that they get an idea of what our vision is.
Right. And then in terms of a window poster, that's one-sided. I mean, the postcards are two-sided. So this is fine because the other side on a postcard has information about you should vote, you should run for a candidate, and we have to write work on the other side. So in effect, what this becomes is just one side of a two-sided postcard. But for a poster, this is rather cluttered and doesn't have clear messaging that we used last year. Be a candidate or vote, right?
Right. So we need to include that somewhere.
Well, the top of this is a horizontal. So to make it vertical, this would be
right
2/5 of the page, and the stuff that goes on the top above it.
And Gabby had this idea that we should have sort of a template, whereas we have the photo collage as a base, and then keep spaces where we could just add and change text.
Oh, that's it. That's fine too. I'm just saying this is a good postcard, but it's not a good poster.
Right.
I mean, because it's horizontal, not vertical, all of those things. So
the orientation we need to change. Okay, but this is great. Thank you for doing this. And yeah, we can send this to the communications.
Okay.
All right. So in terms of there was a timeline. Did you have a chance to check the timeline that was the schedule, the proposed schedule of
I didn't look. No, I didn't really look, nor do I.
Okay.
I mean, in other words, she presented a schedule of when they want to do posts, and it's not. I don't feel it's very pertinent to me. Sorry. I mean, the schedule we need to be discussing is, when does our website go live? What does it say? Right? I mean, we have to file, we can't yet say, we'll help you fill out your ballot application because they're not available. But I mean, the
Right.
website has to match the city's calendar.
Yes.
The social
But
media posting can, slide a little. The communications committee seems to be focused on that and not on anything else. So printing at this time of year, are we trying to put posters in windows for candidate filings, or are posters in the windows more about voting?
I think for the voting, although I honestly cannot recall how we did it the last time.
Well, we only had
We probably did some posters for candidate recruiting.
I understand, but yeah, I understand, but I'm saying, I don't know. I mean, it's a short candidate filing period, right? Just 33 days or something.
It's from December 23rd to February something, yeah, beginning
Like
of
3,
February.
4, 5 though, not middle of February. And we've got the holidays. We've got 23rd through the 3rd is
Yeah.
nothing burger. There's no point even in putting out posters. And I don't know how fast we can get posters printed at this time of year. We weren't faced with the holiday schedule the last time in terms of that. So that's why
a different timeline. Yeah.
it's a different timeline, but we need to have from them absolutely positively no exception artwork back for a MailChimp blast to go out on, I mean, they don't even have this, I need to, 21st. That's a week,
December 21st.
don't you think? I mean, candidate filing begins on Friday, going out by MailChimp. Even if it doesn't mean a whole lot, I think we can't not do it. That's a double negative. I think we'll be tentatively accused of not trying to promote. So we need to do a MailChimp e-blast in advance of the opening of candidate filing with all the information a candidate needs.
Yes.
And I probably did do a blast with all the information a candidate needs, a year and a half ago, so I can retrieve it out of MailChimp. But then we have to change it. But we need this collage thing, the final, no later than the 20th. I don't know how they're going to pull it off.
Okay, let me write to them.
Because we cannot be late. I mean, they need to understand. And Ann told me it'll take her only a couple of days to relaunch. But right now, it's like join the board. If you go to that page on our website, it still has the old caricature illustration. I'm not part of it. Not to be a part of it.
All right.
So I'm willing to work directly with Ann. I've already talked to Ann, if Greg will let me. She's my neighbor, she's a friend, but I am not the director of communication.
I'm wondering if the communications committee can handle this, or if we need to.
They never mentioned it to her. When I talked to her, it was the first she'd heard of it. They never even gave her a heads up about the election. So again, I feel that they're thinking, I mean, they're both extremely busy. I saw Gabby the other day. She came to the composting workshop and she brought her, she said my kids, but they're niece and nephew. And I mean, her hands were full. You could just tell she was taking care of these two young people. And she just got married and she has a newish job, et cetera, et cetera. But, we get along fine, but they're very, very busy. And it seemed from the schedule they gave you that they hadn't even inserted these other things into it, like get it on the website, do it e-blast. You know, they're focused on the social media and the imaging, right? But we need the imaging at least a first round. So I don't think we want to, I mean, what I created in 7 minutes. So I could do a better job if I took time, but I'm never going to be as good as someone who's good at Photoshop and or InDesign. I mean, you know, there's the white lines are uneven. We don't have all the photos. Did you reach out to Joshua? Does he have other photos?
No, not yet.
Okay, because that's a key, because his will be also high resolution. Some of these photos are not, some are and some are not that I use. So, which again is going to be fine for a postcard, but would not be fine for a poster.
Mhm. Yes. All right. So okay. What I will probably do is I will send a message to the communications committee, Raheem, Gabby, and Josh, and ask them the different
Yeah,
questions.
but copy me and copy Greg. I mean, it's
Okay.
really important.
Yes. All right.
I mean, there should not be kind of random here, random there.
Okay.
Now that we're so close to a real deadline.
Yes. All right. We'll do that.
And you can send them the mock-up. I'll send it to you. You can send them this mock-up
Okay.
and just say, and call it a mock-up, not a final, because it's by no means a final.
Right.
But under the guise of here's what we're thinking, but we need it done, or we can have it done as long as you're not objecting to it, but we need some, you know, there might be some better photo choices.
Yes. All right. So there's that.
And
As far as the concurrent plans for the Earth Day event.
yeah, so go ahead.
So we need to come up with the budget, right?
Well, a couple of things. You might, if you look really carefully at the agenda, I added 3 words that you didn't know about,
Okay.
which was discuss electioneering rules.
Oh, yes. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because so Paul, Grace, and myself met with our new funding representative at the city clerk's office.
Mm-hmm.
And she had worked in the elections division and has transferred to us. So she comes with a bit of a perspective about election. So she said, wouldn't this be a problem for electioneering? Which would be people handing out literature or not just that, but talking about themselves, please vote for me, electioneering. And I said, well, I do know for sure that both Nandisi and Mink, so the neighbor councils to our east and to our west, both have traditionally had the election polling place in the same, and have a festival, serve hot dogs, and that it doesn't seem to be a problem, but it would be a problem for us to have an event of any sort, which we want to have, without allowing half our board to help us. Because half the, I don't know who's running to be reelected, but half our board is up. Mm-hmm. And so, I looked it up, and under California rules, it's 100 seats. So the 12th Avenue is 237 feet from the door to the library. So we would be outside the limit. But I also feel that the right thing to do is to not allow any electioneering the whole stretch. So not at the library, not in front of its parking lot, not in front of the park, and not on 12th Avenue where we're going to have a first day event, assuming we can do it. I just think the whole thing should be a no electioneering zone. That board members who may be running can be allowed to be in the festival area, not allowed to help in the polling place. So technically under California law, they're not violating anything, but they cannot say, my name is, can't wear a button, say vote for me. I mean, in other words, there'd have to be very strict rules. The question would be, how do we enforce that for the other?
So we would need to add some printed materials.
And
some
posters. Yeah, and
sign that would say,
no electioneering zone. Yeah, exactly.
all
So,
right.
so that would be my proposal. And again, technically, there's no issue at all, just because of the size of the block. But I want to go past technical and on a more perceptional basis.
Okay,
Yeah, there shouldn't be any perception that we're allowing anyone to elect.
all right.
So that would be what I would say about that. The city attorney might have an opinion, but why should we be treated different than the neighborhood council?
Mhm.
Especially since the thing we're doing is a good cause.
Yes. And so
So-
goals, the candidate recruiting, call for VBM request, candidate forums, work on an overall elections awareness and promotion campaign.
Okay, so what the funding rep also said was we can do a single BAC or 4 BAC if we're having 4 things. So the 4 sort of events we've talked about, only 3 are actually in person. That is the candidates meet and greet, which, given all the issues on insurance and all that stuff, if we do that, I'd like to propose that it be at the South Beach House, so that we could have, water bottles and wrapped refreshments. But it has that house feeling, but we wouldn't need insurance.
Okay,
So assuming we could arrange that, and I think we probably could.
that would be,
That would feel like a comfortable place, like a little cocktail party, but no cocktails.
yes.
Just
yes,
a meet and greet. And it's just meet and greet. It's not a speech. It's not a forum, right? Is that what you had in mind?
It's just a meet and greet, very informal. Just, people can just stop, go maybe, like a, how do you call it? Round robin.
Well, I mean, it could be even less formal than that, just depending on, how many people even show.
Yes. I mean, people will come, the interested parties will come with questions and.
Right. But I'm saying it's not a forum, not a,
No.
not the candidates on one side of the room and everybody
No,
else. More
absolutely
the
not.
casual.
My
I'm saying cocktail party reception, but no
It's
cocktail.
just a very casual meeting where we actually, it's a literally a meet and greet. Yes.
Okay.
the South-
So I would propose South Seas House. So all we're talking about is refreshments,
Yes,
and no handouts. Would there be handouts? Yeah, the only handouts would be the things we would have already photocopied, which are applications for ballots, right? Even though that's not the purpose of that meeting. But
right.
yeah.
And then the candidates themselves can maybe take some home, for their own campaigns. and-
Correct. But we wouldn't
Voters.
be doing flyers and posters and postcards and
Right,
things
no,
like that.
no, we wouldn't need.
So the budget could be, we could ask for $200, which is far more than we probably need.
Mhm.
And then we don't need to spend $1,000 like we did last year to have a health stakeholders fill out applications event. This was sort of a way to give a donation to the early. Last year was a way to give a donation to Arlington Heights for their event. We just piggyback onto it.
Yeah.
So if we do, I mean, I'm just wondering if we just, apropos to some of the complaints that we haven't used the Jefferson Park Library, schedule that event for the Jefferson Park Library. And again, that could be, it's not a meet and greet of candidates, but it could be just light refreshments if they'd even let us in the community room. Do they? I mean, I don't even know if they let us have refreshments, but it might be a no cost thing. But we should ask for money.
Okay, so for filling
So in
out,
other words, it would be the component of how to fill out your ballots. And maybe we want to do two if we can do them cheap at both libraries. I don't know. But I don't want to be in a public place where, again, we have insurance and make it into a big amount that we have to do 60-day in advance, or, calling it an event.
Mhm.
Just something more simple. Though the other place we could do it, if Steve Wallace would let us, would be at Start LA, just in Harvard Heights, where LI Coffee, but he has a whole space next to it,
Mhm.
and the open patio. So so that would be another place the city probably would want to have insurance for that. But people could buy their own coffee. We would not have refreshment costs.
Mhm.
Or well, a minor refreshment cost because we should buy the refreshments for our volunteers. I mean, we could talk about it, but the question would be how much, since it's not really planned yet, I'm now throwing out two different places, one in Harvard Heights, one in Jefferson Park.
And that
Not a
is
bad
good.
idea to do
We should
both,
try to do things, all
right?
over the footprint.
Exactly. So, but then we have to keep it more. I mean, I think it would be a good idea to do a multiple of them, of these, events, and getting the word out is not so hard because MailChimp and Facebook. But what would our budget be? Do we want to say that we'll try to do 3, and at least one might be in a private facility that we would need insurance, or 2 might be in private. So our primary budget's going to be the insurance.
So you're proposing to hold 3 events for
Well,
people.
I was really proposing 2. I'm just wondering how many you're proposing.
The bandwidth is
Right, 2. I'm proposing 2, and not necessarily you and me.
okay.
Right? No, I mean, in other words, the drop in to help and fill out a ballot application. That's what it's about. We want to get more people who might not want to go to voting, in person. Here, drop in and we'll help you fill it out, and we'll deliver it to our elections clerk like we did last time, right? We just sent them in. Right. So 2, I think, would be the max. But all we're doing right now is asking for the budget.
Yes, and definitely the library, because there's
Jefferson Park Library for sure.
There's a pretty good chance that the patrons will be local residents.
Correct.
Opposed to over there where they were going to the market and not everybody was.
Oh, no, that's correct. But that's why I'm also thinking Alibi Coffee, Start LA. Steve will probably say yes, because the Harvard Heights people just hang there. So it'd be a really good place.
Mhm.
Assuming that he would say yes and not charge us money.
Right. Okay. So we would not need a tent.
Yeah.
And for the Jefferson Library, you're thinking about
the community room.
The community room. Okay, then I can ask Carla.
Right, and I will ask Steve. I mean, what's he think? Because if you've been up there, they have an open patio that's got sail, it's shaded, it's covered, and he has the pop-up art gallery type space indoors. I'd rather do outdoors, but the question is, can we schedule it on a day? And he has parking. All 3 are good things.
So coffee for them. What were you thinking in terms of refreshments or snacks?
Well, they would have to be wrapped.
Yes. So maybe the small
things from Sprint and Final.
Those bags of Cheetos and well,
I was really thinking little pastries, and the things you can get at Sprint and Final, like just wrapped.
Okay, we could do that, I guess.
We could do chips and water bottle.
Yes. Okay. That's
so it'd be $100 for each one for refreshment. potentially we'd be required to have insurance. Yeah, the city might require us to have insurance at the Start LA. And
Where's
let me
that story, Lay?
it's called Start LA. The facility is called Start LA. It houses Alibi Coffee.
Oh, okay,
It
okay.
houses a pop-up empty room.
I
And
see.
and there's a third entity that
Where we had a
represents.
retreat
Yeah,
with
exactly.
Jeff Bowen, when Jeff Bowen
Yes. Only now the outdoor patio is a big space
Oh, okay.
with
Yeah, that
tables
would
and
be
chairs, and it's covered.
Okay, perfect.
So that it's a really, it's a good spot because we'd be close to people
Yes.
who we aren't usually physically close to
Okay,
for our events.
great.
Okay.
So what else? So all
And then the Earth Day. So the virtual Zoom form is free. And the date, but we would have to use, not a big deal, but for that one, we'd have to use the city Zoom, not this Zoom here, because it has the capacity for more people.
it's very hard to hear you. There's some
I know there's something wrong with the mic. I'm saying for the candidates forum, we have to use Greg's license, the city Zoom. The other Zoom license, not this one,
okay.
because it can go to 500 people. This one can only go to 100 people,
I see. Okay.
but it's still free. There's no cost.
Okay. Good. All right.
Okay.
And so
Yeah.
what are we? So we also need to decide on election day, the food for election day that we're going to
How is that how is that usually done? I don't know. For the volunteers.
not only for the volunteers, but also for the voters.
Oh. I don't think you have to have food for the voters. If
No,
there's
but
no, wait, let me finish. If we're having a festival on the street, I don't think we have to have separate food for voters. We can send them to the food we have. So I was going to ask the council office for the following thing. Close the street, rent tables, chairs, tents,
yes.
and provide the food.
Oh, okay.
See if they'll do it. Because then we don't have to, as a neighborhood council, deal with all that crap-aroo. So you were at the opening of the park, right? Same location.
I assume
So
that
didn't city council pay Johnny to make the food? That's what I have in mind as first request.
Yeah.
My
Okay.
first request would be that.
Okay.
My second request, if that doesn't work, would be to ask Truffle Brothers if they would make pizza.
Okay.
And how much would that cost? And again, who is paying for it? It's like, so I don't think you need to provide further food at the polling place for voters, unless you want to have punch.
No, I was just thinking food.
Yeah. So I think
wherever it's going to be, we always feed them.
Absolutely. And I don't think we need to feed them twice. That's all I'm saying.
No,
but the volunteers in the
not.
polling place need to be given lunch.
It's just a different situation. Yeah.
Right.
It's a different setting this year. I mean, next year. So, okay. All right. So
that's my idea. So that budget's not complete, but I need to, if you're okay with this, then I will reach out to Danielle.
And Eric.
And Eric and Kamani. And just say, but Danielle, who I've already talked to, so we need the street closed. Can you provide the rental? And can you provide the food? It's okay if the answer is no, but we need to know. Well, the answer for the street cannot be no. It has to be yes. But for the other two things, we need to know by early January, because we have to have a final BAC for the final budget. We
Yes.
need an initial budget now and a final budget shortly, but not this second.
Okay, so for the executive committee, what do we need to submit this time around?
Okay, budgets.
Budgets.
And which we don't have to work it out right here, but the budget would include,
Yes,
for sure from us,
yes,
the budget's going to include a lot of postering, communications, wayfinding. You know, vote here, no electioneering, Earth Day here, you know, whatever, but wayfinding. But that would be the maximum on electioneering, wayfinding, you know, elections here, Earth Day there. We will need water bottle, you know, a lot of water and ice. Unless the food person is providing that. We will need to pay for the insurance. We will have to be insurance. We might want to propose a budget for the rental of tables and chairs and pens with the hope, but talk to Greg. I mean, pick up the phone and talk to Greg this week with the hopes that Greg can arrange with the council office too. I mean, you know, usually the council office will provide that stuff.
yeah.
Will we need to rent barriers? I don't know. And what other costs would be? Do you want balloons? I mean, we might want, you know, it's just something, decorations.
Something festive for sure.
Right. And maybe some balloons at polling place too.
Yes.
So what I don't know is also at the library, I assume the polling place is the community room. Are they going to open the door that opens to the street for that? Or are people going to have to go in the front door of the library and do the hall?
Okay, we'll have to ask.
Yes, we do. Because we shouldn't decorate the front door of the library, but we could decorate the front door of the community room if that's how they're going to.
Mhm. Okay.
And I'm using the phrase balloons, but I don't know. I mean, I'm not blowing them up. Okay, so
We'll have somebody blow them up. Yeah.
well, I mean, it might be a balloon delivery company, is what I'm trying to say. So what I don't want to do,
Maybe one of the, I mean, but those are probably expensive. You know,
right? Well, maybe they are, maybe they're not, but it would be kind of fun to have our blue and orange colors
Oh, of course.
on the balloons. So
If
I just
anything,
don't.
we'll get some from Dollar Tree in that color, you know, color coordinate.
Right, but I do think like balloons, and then I don't know what else, but I will look at the budget that was for the Thrill of Sugar Hill and look at those categories. And I know how much the insurance will cost.
Okay.
Okay, you got to go to bed. I got to go to bed.
You know, I wake up at 4 a.m. So
I'm sure you do.
yeah.
So
And
are there
a lot.
any other, do we have any other, I think since it's just you and me keep talking, Paula, I thought Paula was going to come. I don't have any other ideas. It doesn't mean I would never have any other ideas, but right now I think this is enough.
Okay, so yes, for the executive, my concern was, you know, we need to get something ready, right, for executive committee.
Correct.
Okay, so that is our priority. I will reach out then to the communications committee and Josh and copy you and Greg
And I will email you this pretty thing.
Yes, please, the collage and what else? So let me just write asterisks.
Oh, you know what I didn't do? I'll also upload the collage into the agenda packet.
Okay. Yes, please. All right. Help stakeholders, virtual Zoom. I guess the next time we can set up schedule for all these things, you know. in
Right.
January, we can
Right.
start.
But like I said, the main thing I think we need to do next week is at least a little push in a MailChimp email about
Yes.
filing has started.
Yes.
And then do we have the new video from Don about how to be a candidate? I mean, that should be on our website. Or, I mean, they have a new video, unless it's the old video, but there's a video that they are circulating.
Okay.
Oh, what 800? Oh, hang on, I need to answer them. Hello? Yes, I know we're on tape, but I'm confirming a delivery.
Oh, I missed a Raheem did text me at 6:39, but I totally missed it. So it's unfortunate.
And what did he say? Trying to come to
Let
the
me know if you
meeting?
still need me at your meeting tonight, and if so, what
Around
window of time? But
6:30.
yeah, it's already
Yeah,
7.
I can't really stay.
I know. Okay, so we'll just communicate through email then. Okay?
Okay,
So no pending business, no old business to discuss. Everything else will table then for next month.
okay.
We'll definitely talk offline and arrange the
Right.
paperwork for the executive.
Right, yeah, I mean, if we have to have another election standalone committee, I'd rather not, but we could. I mean, what we really need to know is if Paula's gonna help,
I'm sorry?
and is Paula really gonna be on this committee?
Yes.
And,
Dennis and maybe Dolores.
well, only Paula said yes. I did mention to Dennis that we're having this meeting tonight. It'd be great if he could come. He's not here. So probably we need to send an email out to the board. And have you done the email yet? You're waiting till, I know you have finished this week. Because the board members who are running versus those who are not, I mean, we haven't done that yet.
It just takes one email, but yeah, I right now,
Yeah. So,
I'm
okay.
at maximum capacity. I have to, my volunteering.
Because I don't even think Greg and Chris know which one of them is supposed to be running for
Right.
Area 4.
Right. So who has the last word on that? Who decides?
Me. I probably do.
Oh, you do?
Well, I mean, it's not that I have the last word, but I have the roster.
Then you need to let me know.
Yeah, it's divided by group A, group B,
Okay.
seat 1, seat 2.
Could you please send me an email? Then
Oh, it's Greg. Yeah, Chris does not need to run. It's Greg who has to run.
Greg needs to run. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, no,
everybody else is more clear, right? These were the only
well,
two.
I don't know. Kareen has to run. Michael Kimbrew, Greg, well, Ivy, the new person.
Yes.
You, and you're not running.
Not
And then, right, then me, Paula, Paul King, Carlos.
Yes.
And Sarah Longhenry. But look, 3 of the 5 officers.
Yes.
So another good reason why we do want to have a festival but no electioneering, because we have to have Greg, Paul, and Paula helping out at the festival with me. So I mean, in other words, so it has to be, I feel like it'd be no electioneering. That we created a much larger no electioneering zone, because the perception of having
Yes,
3 executive officers and the immediate past president, assuming we're all running,
right.
it has to be really well posted, no electioneering.
Yes, right. We're not here to promote ourselves.
No, we are, and we are. We're here to promote service to the community. Okay,
Well,
I gotta go. I gotta go.
okay, so we adjourn the meeting at 7:21. Thank you, Laura.
Thank you, and I'll email you this thing and post it in the agenda packet.
Yes. All right. Okay. Good night.
Bye.